Okay guys, welcome back. Tuning in to how I finish my haircuts. This is an example of my finished product. For the guys who are following me or those who have been in my chair, I charge around $150 to $200 for a haircut, and we thought that it would be great for me to show you how I like to finish that haircut, specifically with the beard and using color enhancement to bring that haircut to the next level. So this is the finished product. As you can see, I use a little bit of color enhancement that we've shown in our previous videos with the beard. The same techniques can be applied to the haircut itself. I applied this on the hairline to make it look as sharp and as dense as possible. And I also applied the color enhancement into his beard to create more density, to create more fullness, and to also give him a much sharper look. Now to show you guys what this looks like before the color enhancement, I will turn him to the other side, and you can see that how this is going to look. This is how it looks before, and this is how it's going to look afterwards when I'm finished. So without further ado, let's get into it right away and see how we can finish this haircut. I'm going to do just a light blend, roughly around the sideburn area. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my trimmers, my outliners, and I'm just going to give a flick downwards towards the sideburn area. The flick is going to graduate the hair going from shorter to longer near the ear and building in length as we go lower into his beard. Next, I'm going to open the lever with my clipper, give a trim and then corner blend into the base of his beard. Now I'm preserving what he has in the middle and just blending it in. The same way we'll blend the beard will be the exact same way we'll do a ball fade from 0 all the way to the 2, except we'll be on a reverse. After I've created my blend, I'm going to go right away and outline the perimeter of his beard. I'm going to use that with my trimmers first, my outliners first. And I'm going to keep the line as far out as possible. And we don't want to push in that beard line too far from its natural setting. The reason for that is because the beard lineup won't last long if we do that. After I created my line on the side there, now I'm going to create my line near the top of his cheek. I'm pushing down, feeling and hearing the crunch of the hair. Now a pro tip for you guys is that you don't want to set the line exactly where you want with your trimmer yet. You always want to keep it a little bit farther out. The reason for that is because the detailing is going to come in with the razor blade. And if we set the hair too close to where we want the line, when we go to detail it with the razor blade, we'll push it lower than it needs to be. For his lip area, I'm just going to cap off anything that's hanging over his lip. And then touch the little hairs on the top of his mustache. To make the detailing with the razor blade a little bit easier, I'm going to use my UV foil shaver, and I'm going to shave away all the stubble that I just took off with my outliner. And this is going to limit a lot of irritation when I go to blade the line up later. Stretch your lip, please. As I'm detailing the beard, of course, you want to double check both sides to make sure the blends are blending in the right areas. We use our facial features of the ear to keep in reference of where the blend begins, where it stops, and where it graduates into longer lengths of hair. On the bottom, I'm going to use a light clipper over comb technique to just even up that jawline. We do have a longer point in the front, so our angle of our comb must be on an angle where it allows us to graduate the hair from shorter to longer. Now we're going to set our line underneath the beard by the neck area. Of course, we always like to start right in the middle. We create our initial line right in the middle. We're going to move to the higher side first, which is the side that I already finished. Just to show you the motion, this is what I would do. Start in the middle, go to the higher side first. The reason for that is because that's going to avoid you from pushing the line too high. If we already go to the higher side first and use the minimum amount to set the line, then we know exactly how much to match on the other side. So that was my higher side. And now I will be moving onto the side that we haven't touched yet, using the other side as a reference. As I created my line on the bottom, I am just gently trimming the hairs that are hanging over the line. This is going to make your beard come into one solid piece. Any hairs that are hanging over the line that you created on the neck is going to blur out that line. I'm constantly combing down the hairs. He does have a slight wave in his beard, so the vibration of the clippers or the trimmer is going to make the hair move. So we're always combing down the hair to set it in a natural fall position. And that way, after we detail it in this way, it's always going to consistently remain in that shape while the hair is growing out. As we're detailing, we're always going to look at the line in the mirror. And this way we're going to see symmetry, balance, and shape. And of course, once he's in the mirror, you're going to see the areas that you need to touch up. I like to put my finger on those areas, then look at it visually and make those adjustments. The pro tip here is that you want to try to do as much detailing as you can with your naked eye. Then when you go in and you see it with the mirror, you're going to see all those imperfections that your eye may have missed. once I'm satisfied with my line on the bottom, I'm going to come back with my foil shaver now to take away the rest of the stubble that I no longer need to give him a nice smooth finish on his neck. So now we're ready for the finishing touches. We shaved away everything that we don't need. We screen shaved away to get it nice and smooth. We removed all the hairs that we don't need to limit the irritation. Now I'm just going to put a light layer of shave gel. And I'm going to start at the top of his beard and make my way to the corner of his lip. We're always stretching the skin, ensuring that I only cut a couple hairs at a time. No matter how thick the beard, if we only cut a few hairs at a time, it will be a very comfortable shave. As you can see, the blade glides so easily because the cheek is already smoothed out from my foil shaver. This is going to save you guys time. And when you go to take those pictures afterwards, the skin won't be red and look irritated. A brush is recommended to brush away all the hairs that you've shaven off. Sometimes with a comb it's hard to catch all those hairs to take them off, and you could get confused as to what's still left behind. So using a brush for this process is highly recommended. Again, I'm going to turn him into the mirror to check for symmetry and balance. And then come back to make my adjustments. Lastly, I'm just going to blade the back by his jawline. I like to pull on the earlobe here. This gives me a really good stretch, and it keeps the skin tight. It gives me a smooth surface for me to glide my blade. For the mustache area, I'm going to put some more shave gel here. That's my model to give me a really tight stretch. And I'm going to use the toe of my blade mixed with the heel of my blade, depending on the position that I'm in, to get the shave. Very rarely will I use the full blade. It is not necessary as it causes more irritation. Alright, so that's how the beard will look with just the blade work without any color enhancement. Now watch how I quickly transform his beard to make it look sharper, and to make it look more full and more dense with color enhancement. Okay, with my color brush, I'm gonna only fill in the areas that are less dense. So for example, the little spaces that you see within his beard. And the idea is I want to come in with the color wet and put the color in the pattern and in the direction of the hair growth, and then my brush is going to blend in the color. So you don't want to put the color everywhere. This is strictly for balancing out shade. So you only want to put into the areas that are light so that it can help match with the shades that are around that are darker. Now after I created my base, now I'm able to come in and detail the line and make the line a little bit sharper as well. As you can see, color didn't go to everywhere of his beard, only in the areas that is needed. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This is how I like to finish my haircut and my services. We added color enhancement and some detailing to the beard. And as you can see, I transformed right in front of your eyes how we can take a simple haircut and make it look extravagant and take it to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. This is our finished product on how I like to take a simple haircut and use color enhancement and detailing techniques to make it look like it's the next level. So if you want to have a more sharp and appealing look, these are some of the techniques that you guys can bring back to your studio. And remember, with the right beard and the color enhancement and the right add-ons, you can add $20 to $50 on top of your haircut service. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we're looking forward to connecting with you in the future.